I wanted to show what it's like to game on the Samsung Galaxy Book Ion. I have the 15-inch version that normally comes with only 8 gigabytes of RAM, but I did a custom upgrade after, and I put in an additional 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM for a total of 24 gigs of RAM, which is way more than enough for any modern games. In fact, even while I'm playing a heavy game like this, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I rarely see the RAM usage go up above 10 gigabytes, and that's even while I have maybe a couple of Chrome tabs open in the background. Even at 16 gigabytes of RAM would not be a bottleneck. So if you're looking at getting the Galaxy Book Ion, you definitely have to upgrade the RAM. I think 8 gigabytes, especially for gaming, it will not cut it, but if you just spend 30 bucks, put in another 8 gig stick in there, you will be more than fine. So how is it possible to game on the Galaxy Book Ion when there is no graphics card? Well, I purchased a external GPU. This is not totally new in the laptop space, but thanks to Thunderbolt 3, which is the latest standard of USB-C, gaming is actually possible. And it's possible because Thunderbolt 3 has a high enough bandwidth of 40 gigabits per second that allows a graphics card to send in all that information back to the computer. Now, the setup I'm using is I'm not playing on an external monitor. I'm traveling right now, and so I'm just playing on my laptop screen. And if you have seen any other videos about external graphics cards on laptops, is you can expect maybe like 10 to 15% of a loss in performance, 10 to 15% loss of frame rates when you are playing directly on your laptop screen. And the reason for this is that your CPU has to send all the math and everything to your GPU, and then everything your GPU does has to go right back to your computer. So it takes up a lot of space on that 40 gigabits. The 40 gigabits Thunderbolt 3 is more than enough to play games, but you'll just have to expect a little loss if you're playing on the laptop screen. But honestly, it's fine. Okay, so what did I get? What kind of external GPU did I get? Well, I purchased this external GPU, let's see, it's August now, probably got it in June sometime, and unfortunately it's currently out of stock. You can't buy it. But I love the idea of these external GPUs. So I got the Sonnet Breakaway Puck RX 560 4 gigabytes. So Sonnet has, for external GPUs, they have an enclosure that you could buy, and Razer has an enclosure as well. But to me, those enclosures, first of all, they're like $200 to $300 by themselves, and they don't come with a graphics card, and they're not really portable. It's more of like a docking station, and I wanted to buy something that I could use while I'm traveling. And so I got the Sonnet Breakaway Puck, which is amazing. Unfortunately, normally they have the RX 570 and the RX 560. That's what they've had the last couple of years, but at the time when I purchased this, the 570 was out of stock, and actually they're not even advertising it anymore. You can't even find it on their website. And the RX 560 was the only one they were selling, but unfortunately now it's out of stock. And I doubt that it's going to come back into stock because there's a new generation of graphics cards coming out, but who knows, maybe because of this pandemic, their supply chains got kind of messed up, and maybe it'll be coming back soon. But what's so impressive is even though I got the lesser version, this is the RX 560 4 gigabyte, which even when it came out a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, might even be like 4 years old, it's marketed as a like 1080p low kind of graphics card, really budget graphics card, maybe $150 by itself when it came out new. And the external GPU that I got was $300 total, the card and the enclosure. And to me, that was a no-brainer. I'm a console gamer normally. I'm definitely getting the PlayStation 5 when it comes out. I've always been a console gamer and never really been a PC gamer, and so I don't really need to have the latest and greatest graphics things when I do play PC games, and especially if I'm just going to be playing on the go. It's not really that important that I have ray tracing or all of that, as cool as that would be. And so what kind of performance do I get when I play? Well, it's very on this card, no matter what game I play, on the RX 560 external GPU graphics card, it's very hard to get 60 FPS. In fact, I would say it's impossible to get 60 FPS on most games, whether it's Gears 5, Gears Tactics, or Call of Duty. It's very hard to get 60 FPS if you play at 1080p, which is the native resolution of the screen. I played around a lot with the settings, and I could actually put everything up on ultra or high settings, which is amazing. I just have to dumb down the shading, the shadow quality, which normally does a big hit, and dumb down the anti-aliasing. But other than that, I do max textures, max everything, and max detail. And even on this laptop that's not designed for gaming, this Ultrabook, just with this budget external GPU, I'm able to hit 1080p, basically max settings, minus just a couple settings, and it looks amazing. And I've tried this on Gears 5 as well, and Gears Tactics. The only thing is, yeah, it's 30 FPS. You can't get 60 FPS unless you dumb it down to 720p resolution. And so that's what I'm playing here right now. You'll see at the end of the video my graphics settings, and you'll see that all the settings are pretty high. It's native 1080, but yeah, I'm getting 30 FPS, but that's still great. And keep in mind, I'm not using any external kind of recording device. This is all native. In fact, the way I recorded this gameplay footage is with the Windows G Microsoft Windows, built-in gameplay recording. So this is all like very easy to emulate. And you can see the graphics look great. I think they dumbed down the resolution a little bit, because when I look at the video, the core video file itself, it doesn't look as sharp as when I was actually playing. But when I was playing, the game looked great, and this is more than good enough, and for gaming and recording. Of course, I would like it to be maybe a little bit better quality, but I mean, this can't be beat. This is the perfect travel gaming setup. Actually, this past weekend, I bought Modern Warfare. It was $38, $38.99, and I totally lost myself. I just played Shipment and Shoot House just a ton, and I normally play this game on console on my 4K TV, and I love these shooters, but on this PC with this really budget eGPU and recording gameplay, it was so much fun, and it really didn't bother me playing at 30 FPS by 60 FPS. And the fact that this is all a great travel setup is just absolutely incredible. And so yeah, that's why I wanted to make this video, is to show that gaming is possible on the Galaxy Book Ion. Now, the 13-inch version cannot be customized. You are stuck at 8 gigs. The 15-inch version can be customized. You can add in more RAM, which is a requirement. I would say just put an 8 or 16 gig RAM stick. Just know, though, you will not be able to game at all on any North American version of the Galaxy Book Ion. You're gonna... only people that buy, the Asian version of this device will be able to game with, because there's an actual graphics card inside the computer, but you have no option with that on the North American version. If you want to game, you're going to have to get an external GPU, or just play older games, not going to play any modern games. But yeah, maybe a few years down the road, maybe a year from now, when there's more of a selection of external graphics cards, next generation, I could see myself upgrading, so that way I could hit native 1080p and 60 FPS. But for the time being, if you see this Breakaway Puck on the used market, or if it does come back in stock, or if you see any similar spec'd external graphics card, just know that a 4GB RX 560 or its equivalent is more than enough to play even the latest games at 30 FPS, native 1080p, and basically max settings. And you can see here, I just kind of go down the list, go down and check out all the settings, and you can kind of play around with them. But yeah, you can see shadows are not max, But basically, all the details you could want that you would notice in a fast shooter like this, are basically maxed. And yeah, so if you're thinking of getting this laptop and you want a game, it's worth it. Get an external graphics card, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with this thing. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and happy gaming.